Today, we're plunging into the incredible world of internet celebrity.
Right.
And specifically, what happens when that massive digital reach, it collides with real-world cultural stuff, practical challenges.
Yeah, that collision point is key.
Our subject is none other than IShowSpeed. He's one of the world's most watched YouTube streamers. Now, for those who might have seen the viral clips but maybe aren't fully up on his journey, what's our mission here? What are we digging into?
Well, we're going to go beyond just those, highlight reels from his recent trip to Turkey.
Yeah.
This was back in July 2025, super high profile.
Okay.
Our mission is really to unearth some surprising insights from that trip. Stuff like breaking viewership records, like across the different platforms simultaneously.
Right.
And also how he navigated these sort of unexpected cultural and language hurdles. We want to understand what these moments, which often seem totally spontaneous, actually reveal about global internet culture hitting, specific local realities on the ground.
That sounds like a really fascinating intersection to explore. So, okay, before we dive into the whole Turkish adventure, maybe let's set the stage a bit. Who exactly is IShowSpeed? How did he get so huge?
Okay, so IShowSpeed, his real name is Darren Jason Watkins Jr. He's 20 years old now, American YouTuber, streamer, rapper, does a bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
His journey, well, it started back, he started a YouTube account in March 2016, but he really got active in 2017. His first live streams were actually in 2018, sometimes literally to just one or two people watching.
Wow, so he really grinded it out. Didn't just pop up overnight. He was building that audience, playing popular games like what? FIFA, NBA 2K?
Exactly. Those were big for him early on.
Yeah.
But the real pivotal moment, the thing that just catapulted him around 2020.
Yeah. What was that?
It was undeniably the mobile game Talking Ben. That's when he properly hit it big.
Talking Ben. Okay.
Yeah, he became known for this incredibly high energy, like totally unpredictable, often wild reactions, shouting, falling off his chair. I think he even barked like a dog sometimes.
Well, laughed slightly. Seriously.
Yeah, and these raw, unfiltered moments, they just became instant viral hits that really defined his whole brand.
And clearly he's moved way beyond just gaming now.
Oh, absolutely. He's got a music career going, songs like Shake, Bounce, Duty Booty, even God is Good. And what's interesting is he keeps that same distinctive, super energetic style from his streams in his music. It obviously connects with his audience.
And the industry has noticed too, right? He's picked up some awards.
He certainly has. Yeah, he won Streamer of the Year and Breakthrough Streamer at the Streamy Awards. And not just once, both in 2022 and 2023. That really cements his place.
Wow, back to back. That's impressive.
Totally. And just to give you a sense of the scale, his influence, we're talking 42 million YouTube subscribers.
42 million? That kind of reach is just hard to wrap your head around.
It really is, almost unfathomable.
Okay, so with that massive digital footprint as context, let's dive into this grand Turkish tour. July 2025. Now, this wasn't his absolute first time in Turkey, was it?
That's right, yeah. He'd actually been in Istanbul before for the Champions League final. That was June 2023.
Oh, okay.
So this time, July 25, he came over from Greece. And he was seen hanging out with some local Turkish social media figures like the big celebrity chef CZN Burak.
Oh, yeah, I know him.
And also that guy known as Turkish Elon Musk.
Right, right. So this trip, it wasn't just sightseeing then. It turned into this huge record-breaking streaming thing. What was so special about the viewership numbers this time?
Well, this is where it gets really fascinating. His streaming dominance was just off the charts.
Yeah.
During this Istanbul visit, he actually had the highest live stream viewership on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time.
Simultaneously. Wow.
Yeah. He peaked at over 437,000 viewers on YouTube and something like 48,000 on Twitch, which really shows his multi-platform pull. He can draw these huge crowds wherever he streams.
And beyond just the numbers, it looked like he was genuinely trying to, immerse himself in the culture.
Oh, definitely. He seemed really enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
You saw him trying like simit the bread rings and Turkish coffee.
Classics.
Yeah. And he made a point of wearing an Milli Takım jersey. That's the Turkish national team. He even kissed the Turkish flag, the crescent and star emblem.
Okay.
At one point, he was in a museum and posed in an Ottoman Sultan costume.
Huh.
So, yeah, definitely making an effort to engage.
And wasn't there a big moment while he was doing all this? He hit a subscriber milestone live on stream?
He did, yeah. Right in the middle of a Turkey stream, he hit 42 million YouTube subscribers.
Perfect timing.
Absolutely. He celebrated with like a backflip or something and kissed the Turkish emblem again. That moment definitely resonated with the local viewers and just added to the whole viral buzz.
Sounds like a lot of positive vibes, but Knowing Speed, it probably wasn't all completely smooth sailing right now. Weren't there some, let's say, playful controversies, memorable fan moments? Tell me about this döner debate. Less.
Oh yeah, the döner debate. That was a classic IShowSpeed viral moment. He basically compared Turkish döner and German döner out loud on stream and said he preferred the German version, which, predictably led to some playful boos from the locals he was with.
I can imagine.
But here's a great little detail. An esnaf, like a local shopkeeper or vendor, he actually refused to take Speed's money for the döner, even though Speed offered him like 200 Turkish lira.
No way. Just refused it.
Yeah. It just captured that fun, spontaneous, clash of opinions, but also the local hospitality. It was a great moment.
That's brilliant. What a story. And it wasn't just food, right? Football is massive in Turkey. Did his loyalties get tested?
Oh, absolutely. Huge football rivalries there. He very pointedly refused to wear a Galatasaray scarf when someone offered it on stream.
Okay.
But then he happily signed a Fenerbahçe jersey for a young fan. So, boom, instantly highlights that intense Istanbul rivalry for his global audience.
And there were other moments too, right? More chaotic stuff that viewers loved. It sounds like pretty much every day was unpredictable. Technical issues, wrestling.
Oh, yeah, it was nonstop. There was the classic streamer nightmare, losing internet connection right in the middle of a huge live stream.
Ouch. Especially with those numbers.
Exactly. It affects everything. Then there was the famous Maraş dondurması.
Yeah.
The tricky ice cream vendor. The guy playfully put a napkin in Speed's mouth instead of the ice cream cone.
Chuckles, that trick gets everyone.
Totally. He also got involved in a wrestling show with a Turkish personality, Tuna Tavus. And maybe the wildest one, he actually passed out on a roller coaster during a theme park visit.
Passed out, like fainted.
Yeah. Live on stream.
Mm.
And that moment. It actually became one of the peak viewership points of the whole trip.
Wow. On the Speed.
Right. And then there was the challenge of just navigating Taksim Square, which is notoriously crowded. He apparently ended up having to leave on the back of a motorcycle just to get through the masses. It really shows the unfiltered reality of being that famous, trying to do normal tourist stuff.
So beyond all the high energy, the fan stuff, the memes, it sounds like one incident at the Galata Tower really shone a light on a more significant real-world issue. Tourism, language barriers. What happened there?
Yeah, this was quite a moment. So Speed wanted to learn about the history of the Galata Tower, obviously a huge Istanbul landmark.
Right, iconic.
But he ran into this major communication problem. The staff there, who you'd assume deal with international tourists all the time, well, they couldn't really speak English.
Seriously, at the Galata Tower?
Yeah, they ended up having to use translation apps on their phones to try and communicate with him.
That's pretty surprising for such a major tourist hub. Can you give us a bit more context on the tower itself? Why is it such a big deal?
Sure. It's a seriously historic structure. Dates back to the 14th century. It's this 219-foot tall stone tower in the Biogli district. And it's incredibly popular. Millions of international visitors go there every year, mainly for those amazing panoramic views over the old city, the Bosphorus. Speed himself was really impressed, called it a W view.
Okay, so he's at this amazing historical site, wants to learn, but the language barrier basically stopped him from getting the full story.
Pretty much, yeah. Because of that communication gap, he could only pick up some very basic info. He mentioned learning it was conquered by Sultan Mehmed II, but that was about it. It felt like a real missed opportunity, not just for him, but for his millions of viewers, to really connect with the history.
And how did this specific incident play out online? Did people notice? Did it spark conversation?
Oh, it went viral almost immediately. That clip got shared everywhere. And yeah, it prompted tons of comments. A lot of users expressed views about, well, they used terms like incompetence, basically criticizing the lack of English skills among staff at such a key tourist spot. It definitely kicked off a wider discussion about, like, tourism infrastructure and language readiness.
And just to add some impartial context here, because it's relevant, the management of the tower actually changed hands before his visit, right?
That's right. It's an important detail. It used to be managed by the Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality, the ABB. But in 2019, it was transferred to the Ministry of Culture and Tourism.
And that transfer happened about a year after the local elections where Ekrem İmamoğlu won.
Exactly. So it just adds another layer, highlights the complexities of how these public sites are managed, sort of bureaucratic shifts that can happen and potentially affect things like staffing or training.
Okay, so moving from history to something sweeter, I guess, but still pretty contentious. The baklava debate. This also blew up online, didn't it?
Lars Loops.
It really did. This was another classic moment. It was a live stream interaction Speed had with the NBA star Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh, Giannis, okay.
Yeah, and during their chat, Giannis just casually claimed baklava is a Greek dessert.
Uh-oh. I can see where this is going. Speed wasn't having that, was he?
Not at all. He jumped right in, insisted, no, it's Turkish.
Yeah.
And this playful back and forth just exploded on social media.
What was the verdict online?
Well, you know social media. But the general consensus among many users seemed to be that, yeah, baklava originated in Turkey, though some people acknowledge it's definitely been adapted into Greek cuisine, too. It just showed how even a fun little argument between two massive global figures can suddenly reignite these deep historical, cultural debates for millions to see.
So if we kind of zoom out and connect these dots,
Yeah.
what does all this tell us about the power, the influence of these huge digital stars? It's really interesting. It's not just that they highlight issues, but how they do it, Speed, struggling with the language barrier at the Galata Tower, that gets amplified globally, instantly. It becomes this sort of raw, unfiltered audit of tourism readiness.
Yeah, it's not like a polished tourism ad.
Exactly. Traditional marketing gives you the ideal picture, but creators like Speed, they show the unpolished reality, the awkward bits, the funny bits, the frustrating bits, and paradoxically, that often creates a more authentic, maybe even more compelling story of what it's actually like to cross cultures. It's like soft diplomacy meets reality TV almost. And the audience sees it all, unfiltered, forming opinions super quickly.
So they become these sort of accidental cultural ambassadors. Their experiences can actually spark real interest or debate, even through the controversies or the, unexpected hurdles. They bypass the usual media gatekeepers.
Precisely. These really visible visits, they have this huge potential to foster maybe a bit more cultural understanding, or at least curiosity, about different places and traditions among their massive fan bases.
Oh.
All just by broadcasting an authentic, largely unscripted experience. They're like real-time travel guides for millions.
So pulling it all together then, this deep dive, really unpacking Speed's Turkish trip. What does it fundamentally teach you about this intersection, global digital fame, local culture, the nuts and bolts of modern tourism?
I think it really drives home how the digital world and the quote-unquote real world aren't separate anymore. They're completely tangled up. It shows how even this really high-energy, sometimes chaotic content can actually reveal important truths. Truths about how cultures interact, about the challenges host countries face with global tourism, and about the huge, sometimes unexpected impact these online stars can have on those interactions and how places are perceived. Their audience isn't passive. They're watching, learning, reacting, forming opinions, all in real time.
Yeah, absolutely. So to recap, IShowSpeed's latest adventure in Turkey, it really was this fascinating mix. You had the pure internet entertainment, the viral moments, but also genuine attempts at cultural immersion, bumping up against these very real-world challenges. A trip full of headlines, but also, if you look closer, full of these subtle, significant lessons.
Which kind of leaves us with a question, I think, for you, the listener. As these digital creators become more and more influential, essentially global ambassadors, whether they intend to be or not, how do their experiences, the ones they broadcast to millions, shape our collective understanding of cross-cultural communication? And what responsibilities lie with both the creators and the host countries to make these interactions authentic, engaging, and maybe even productive? Something to think about.